Hello, today we're going to be talking about Nimona. It's a 2023 fantasy slash animation. The directors are Troy Quane and Nick Bruno. Both of them have like nothing under their belts in terms of past movies. They have, I think Nick has Spies in Disguise, and Troy has some kind of Smurfs movie, I think, if I can remember correctly. But not a lot of past movies, but they still did a good job with Nimona. For voice acting, we have Chloe Grace Moretz, who did Nimona, and she did her job well. I didn't expect to see RuPaul on the list though. That was pretty cool. Also, another surprise is that this was first a comic book. We're not talking about the classic superhero comic books. I mean, like hardcover children's comic. It apparently did very well. Won an award, I think. Doing my research into Nimona, I was looking at the wallpapers and I saw a cover, and it wasn't the movie cover, and it was a completely different art style. Turns out it was a book. That's pretty cool. The story follows Ballister in this world of knights in like a modern slash futuristic world, and his journey to becoming a knight. I'm saying modern slash futuristic. It's like an alternate reality in that they just kept knights around. They didn't kill knights off with the rise of technology. They kind of kept knights around. Then they still have laser weapons and laser swords, but it was with knights. There's still a feudal, I think it's feudal, or some kind of role that the knights are mightier than everybody else. You can't just become a knight if you haven't been born into a royal family. One of those worlds, right? So Ballister gets set up at a ceremony and accidentally kills the queen, but it wasn't him, of course. Nimona, a girl with shape-shifting powers, helps him to clear his name. He has to fight his fellow teammates, including his boyfriend, and he discovers shocking secrets along the way. There's a giant monster boss fight, and that's about it. What attracted me was the art style, because I looked at this and thought, ooh, people are liking Arcane, especially Spider-Man. They're looking towards the more cartoony style. Maybe Nimona is good. No, it's not. It's much, much worse. I don't like this movie because I don't like the writing. It's cheesy, it's in your face, it's very cliche, especially Nimona herself. She's just way too cocky and impulsive and just cringe in general. Like her facial expressions are very extreme, like her eyes are very wide and she has these smirks and her eyes are like fucking half shut all the time, like I'm in the right here all the time. She's the type of guy to say awkward when there's like a moment of silence. It's just annoying to cons, and she's always yapping. Also, there's this dumb knight, and he makes these stupid, unnecessary little remarks because he's the stupid comic relief character. And Nimona and this guy is combined. It's just really annoying. I know this is like early on, but I'm just gonna spoiler warning now. Spoiler warning for stuff that happens. There's plot twists later. It's painfully obvious right away that the villain is the director. She obviously set Ballister up so that she can control who becomes a knight in the city, not just any street rats like him. She wants to maintain the order that not everyone can be a knight, only the royal families, right? Another annoying thing, Nimona and Ballister having bonding moments also feels very cliche. It's like Ballister mending Nimona's wounds when Nimona doesn't really give a shit because she can't feel anything. You don't feel anything? Too bad, you still have a heart. It's very cliche, okay? A problem I had with this movie is that there's world that they've left out. There's stuff in the world that they mention, like the wall, that they never fully explain. They casually mention a wall, but they don't explain anything like why the wall is there. What are they being protected from? Is it keeping them in? Is it keeping things out? There is narration in the beginning, and they definitely needed to explain more. If you know what I'm talking about, yes, they do have a flashback with that redhead and the blonde girl, but it just ends. Like there's a huge hole in the timeline, because it shows them as children, but what about the adults? The lady became a legend with her statue. As an adult, where did Nimona come from? I don't know. No one knows these things. Call me cruel, but Nimona's just overconfident and annoying. Okay? Maybe if she stopped being so overconfident. Again, I'm saying overconfident. But she can grow by listening to Ballister and his rational ways. Ballister is more uptight and he is very reserved, arguably not wanting to let loose at all. But he did let loose a little, and he did start dancing with Nimona and stuff like that. But Nimona had no character growth throughout the whole movie. She's just exactly the same. She jumped to conclusions a lot with Ballister, like the typical arguments, and then they walked out. We're not friends anymore, and then they come back and regroup later. It's all the same, man. Maybe control her powers and show how she helps strangers, because she did save a kid once. Show her saving more people, stop robberies, so that the public can see that she's not so bad, that when she's shown as a monster later, that, oh, it's just a little hitch. She can at least control herself and use her powers for good, not just evil. Also, reward her for good behavior, because everyone thinks that she's a monster. Like, this like helping civilians, they must thank her. Thank you so much, oh my god. She never gets any of that, Yes, she does sacrifice herself at the end. It's so weird. They suddenly praise her as if she didn't just flatten the city. It's kind of weird. Also, the director was right that she was a monster, because she fucking turned into a monster and started destroying stuff, so she was right, and Nimona did not have control over her powers, and her emotional outburst will happen again, because like I said, she has no control over her powers. Maybe if she started learning control, that she can use this power for good, then it would be better, but it's not. The music is also very cheesy. It's punk rock, pop punk, super upbeat music, because yeah, she's a rebel going against the system. It meshes with the movie, but it's because I don't like the movie, that the music I don't like, therefore I don't like the music either. So that being said, I give this movie a 5 out of 10. A 5, sorry man, it's just so annoying. It's not very fun. I'll give the movie credit where it's due. It's funny, the art style is great, the world is very cool, but the writing is its biggest flaw. Characters jump to conclusions very quickly, they leave out information that will actually help the story, and all this being said, this has potential, but just give Nimona some growth, and shut her the fuck up for 1 second. Holy shit, she's annoying, interrupting everyone. Also, the world itself is underappreciated. I want to know about this. A night punk, I think, because there's like cyberpunk, there's steampunk. If this is night punk, with knights being in the modern world, because there's like touchscreen phones, add a bit more world building to the world. Give the heroes more to do, like stopping bad guys, saving kids from saving a cat from a tree, stupid stuff like that. But give them more to do, so they can build the characters and build a rapport with society, so that when the events unfold, then it's not so shocking, I guess. The pacing is just so fast and everything's in your face. It doesn't give the cool world a chance to be appreciated properly. And that's all I have to say. That's all I have to say about that. But can I just say, I like this art style coming up from Arcane, because Arcane made it much more cartoony instead of just regular 3D animation like Toy Stories and Monsters Inc. and stuff. It's busy blending 2D with 3D, like the new Spider-Man movies, the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies, Nimona now. Like, there is a new style coming up. I'm going to call it the Arcane style, because that's where people started appreciating it the most. Yeah, I think it's cool. I'm glad movies are starting to do this, because it gives it more style than just regular 3D animation. I know 3D animation is the cheapest, and maybe they figured out a way to make it cheap now, but it's fine. Whatever, as long as it looks cool. And it does look cool. Like, the reason I started watching the movie is because it was cool. So yeah, hope you guys enjoy. Let me know what you want to see in the comment sections. Comment sections. Comment secciones. Yeah, that. Thank you and goodbye.